Shalom. Let's start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakah, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and was listening to Elder Barak Allah's lesson yesterday, and he was going into the false god Janus and how everybody celebrating New Year's at December 31st and January 1st are just practicing a false belief, because it's Janus that January was named after, and it's when the god of, or the with the little g, the god of beginnings and endings. And during the reign of Julius Caesar and the invention of the Julian calendar is where that transition was made for January to be the beginning of the year, and they switched this away from March, April time to, which is the spring in the beginning of life. They switched it to January and winter and a season marked with death. And Elder Barak Allah was going into how Esau did change times and laws, and that's a good example of that. One of the things Esau changed. And with the Julian calendar, it eventually switched to the Gregorian calendar, and they kept it the same. But I've got Janus pulled up on the Wikipedia, and it says, in ancient Roman religion and myth, because Janus is a myth, it's a fable. It says, Janus is the god of beginnings, of gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, frames, and endings. He is usually depicted as having two faces. You can see his two faces right there, looking all crazy. The month of January is named for Janus. So, you see, and that is the current month that we're in. But it says, according to ancient Roman farmers' almanacs, Juno was mistaken as the tutelary deity of the month of January. But Juno is the tutelary deity of the month of June. So you see, we're under a pagan system. This is, Rome all over again. The reiteration of Rome. So you see two pagan gods that have months named after them. And this even continues with, you look at the dates, or the days of the week. Like Monday, it's for Moon Day. I forget what Tuesday is. Wednesday goes into Woden's Day, or a representation of Odin. Thursday is Thor's Day. Friday is Freya's Day. Saturday is Saturn's Day. And Sunday is for the sun. This is a pagan society. It's a wicked society. And they did change times and laws. But moving on, it says, Janus presided over the beginning and ending of conflict. And in reality, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi resides over the beginning and ending of conflict. And it says, and hence war and peace. And we know that the Heavenly Father is described as a man of war. Yahawah is a man of war. Yahawah is his name. And then Yahawashi, one of his incarnations was as Solomon, the king of peace. And when he comes back, he's going to bring war to this earth. But once he puts down all of his enemies, there will be peace on earth. There will be no more war. And so those are the true gods of war and peace, and of beginning and endings. Yahawashi is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. It says, the gates of a building in Rome, named after him, not a temple as it is often called, but an open enclosure with gates at each end, were opened in time of war. So he's a war god, this Janus with a small g, or the god with a small g, not the Janus, which starts with a J. And it says, enclosed to mark the arrival of peace. As a god of transitions, he had functions pertaining to birth and to journeys and exchange. And in his association with Portinus, a similar harbor and gateway god, he was concerned with traveling, trading, and shipping. We'll just read the rest of this. It says, Janus had no flamen or specialized priest assigned to him, but the king of the sacred rites himself carried out his ceremonies. Janus had a ubiquitous presence in religious ceremonies throughout the year. As such, Janus was ritually invoked at the beginning of each ceremony, regardless of the main deity honored on any particular occasion. While the ancient Greeks had no known equivalent to Janus, there is considerable overlap with Colsanes of the Etruscan pantheon. However, the Greek word Genesis, which means a new beginning or rebirth in Greek, may be the true origin of the name Janus. And so, even looking at that, they got Genesis or Janus out of Genesis, and it's just showing that they're just a ripoff, which Genesis goes into beginnings, hence Janus's name and him being the little g god of beginnings and endings. But really what I got out of this is that Janus is a ripoff of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, because Yahawashi is the Alpha and the Omega, and his father Yahawah is the Ancient of Days. He has no beginning or ending. Yahawashi is also the door. And what else do they talk about? And speaking of war, as we went into earlier, Yahawah is a man of war. But I want to get into the scriptures and go over this just to show that Janus is a ripoff. So, John 10 and verse 7. Then said Yahawashi unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. So Yahawashi is the door, not Janus. And skipping down to verse 9, it says, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and go in and out, and find pasture. And they tried to say that Janus is the gates, the transition, passages, frames, but no, that is Yahawashi. And it's written right there for everyone to see. And it's just the left hand's always trying to copy and imitate the right hand. But the right hand will always win. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, because it talks about how he's over time. But that's really, again, Yahawashi. So 2nd Esdras 9 and verse 1 says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And how do you do that? You measure it through the prophecies. And it says, And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou, and the signs are in the prophecies. It says, Then shalt thou understand that it is the same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the time which is referring to prophecies. And just to get this real quick, because the testimony of Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy, and to measure time you use the prophecies. So Revelation 19:10, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahawashi. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy. And so, no, Janus is not the god of time. It's under Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And then the last that I wanted to get, actually, got it right here. Because they said Janus is the God of beginnings and endings, but that is Yahawashi. So Revelation 1 and verse 8, and it says, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. They said he's the little g God of transitions, and that is untrue. That is Yahawashi. I'm going to read Revelation 21 and 6 as well, and it says, and he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of water of life freely. And you see, Janus has no power. And I just want to get Omega, because Alpha is the first letter of the Greek alphabet, and Omega is the end. And so this is from the Etymon Online, and it says Omega, the final letter of the Greek alphabet, from medieval Greek Omega, from classical Greek Omega, or big O, in contrast to Omicron, or little o, so called because the vowel was long in ancient Greek. From Omegas, which means great, large, vast, big, high, tall, but here's the point, mighty, important, because Yahawashi is the most important and the most mighty. He is the ultimate alpha male, and he's coming to end these times. So he's the Alpha and the Omega. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakach, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.